Dude, it's historical.
Welcome to episode number 60 of the Eavesdrop podcast. I'm going to take this off because we only did it for theatrics.
It's for show.
Of the Eavesdrop podcast. Our special guest, the very fashion-forward Joey Pinocchio. Is it Pinocchio?
No, you had it.
Pinocchio?
Yeah, nailed it.
Also known as Joe Fries. Joe Fries, welcome to the show. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me. Dream come true, honestly.
Dude, we've known each other for close to 7 to 8 years. You've been such a big part of... You've been a character in our storyline for a very long time because of your connection with Flamesword. If you guys haven't seen Flamesword's look, they sort of did it...
Totally swagger jacked.
Yeah, totally swagger jacked. Big time. And you know, it is what it is, right? Like it's who else is doing that right now? Braden's also going for the long hair.
Stellar?
Yeah, Stellar.
Total
swagger jack.
Yeah.
So all three of you used to hang out a lot back in Illinois. So you guys have seen Joe in my vlogs. You guys have seen him in the background of all the content that we created because he's always there. He too was also in Illinois. That's Corona. It's not. He too was also in Illinois. He lived in Illinois your whole life?
Yeah, for the most part. I went to school in California and then back and forth a little bit between California and Illinois, but yeah, most of it in Illinois.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to get you on because it was almost serendipitous, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yesterday, Matt recorded me in today's vlog, as people may have already watched, or yesterday's vlog, so you guys were watching. Some dude sent me the T-squared bottle.
No way.
Yeah, it's right there, added to my collection. I have the Red Bull Flamesword one, and then I have Ninja. Flamesword hasn't autographed that, Ninja hasn't autographed that, and T-Squared hasn't autographed that. But he also sent me the final boss that you see on that little corn thing. What do you call it? Candy corn?
Oh, yeah.
The candy corn final boss.
He sent you that?
Some dude.
We made those. Those are ours.
Who?
Me, my family.
So you that right there.
That rubber band was made by us.
Okay. So in the same day that I opened it up on video, I get these relics, right? Which are and we'll talk about the LAN network and what it was, what it meant to that, to the history of esports as a whole. But I wanted to let's just start at the beginning, at the top of the list, man. Who are you today?
Oh man,
I know.
I should have prepared because I've seen you. I've watched the podcast and I've seen you ask this before, but.
It's hard to say. That the reason I ask it is because you don't know who you are. You're not the same person that you were yesterday. It's impossible to be that. You know what I mean? You're always changing. Some of the remnants of what you were yesterday make up what you are today, but at the end of the day, you're not. Your thoughts from yesterday were yesterday's thoughts. Your thoughts from tomorrow are more advanced than today's because you've lived an extra day and you have more knowledge of such. So, very introspective question to ask. And I also asked, who were you then? And I will ask that, who were you then when this was happening? But today, for this podcast, May 19th, 15th, who are you today?
Today, I feel like I'm starting to get into, my hustle mode in my life.
Okay.
I'm starting to really get... Can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm starting to really shed the bullshit kind of and focus down on what makes me happy and what I really want to work on.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff is food related. Some of that stuff is esports related. But yeah, I got a lot of things that I've been working on and I've been keeping myself busy. So I feel like,
yeah, but that's what you're doing. Who are you today though? Who is Joe Fries today? I mean, Joe Fries itself. And I'll ask you where the name came from, but who are you today? Like me, I'm a father, I'm an artist, and then I happen to run an esports team. And I don't even think running is the right way because I don't. What I do defines me, but not but it's not my job that defines me. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't work for me. This is a dream come true in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's who I am. A father for, like, who are you today? I'm gonna dig deep into this, because I wanna know what makes this look. Painted nails, fancy ass rings, the crunchy for the long hair. You know what I mean? The swagger, like, super. I mean, I don't know.
All right. So you want some criteria? Okay. Well, I'm probably a professional vegan first.
Okay.
Self-proclaimed, of course.
There you go.
Fashion icon in the esports space, at least.
Okay.
And yeah, just a creative, and sometimes I run around with a camera.
Okay. See that now we're getting into it. When you say professional vegan, when's the last, like, have you ever in your life eaten fish, meat, chicken?
Yeah. The last time was about like 12 or 13 years ago.
Okay. How old are you now?
I'm 30.
Okay.
So I made the switch when I was like 18 or 19, before all of the fun food was available.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it actually kind of helped because I started cooking a lot for myself. So I picked up on that craft, which is nice.
Yeah. Okay. What do you eat? I've
Man,
I don't think I've ever met a vegan, or are you vegan? Is it? I don't think I've ever met, besides you. I don't think I've ever met one. Maybe someone in high school was like vegan and vegetarian. What's the difference? Sorry.
So vegan is no animal products at all. And if you want to get more specific, it's more of a lifestyle. So I don't wear leather. I don't wear anything that has
you don't drink out of plastic?
I don't. Yeah, I try to be as environmentally positive as possible, and eco-friendly. I don't have any single-use plastics or papers in my apartment. My toilet paper is bamboo.
Mm-hmm.
I have many leather-bound books.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's
so you don't use baby wipes?
No, I do. I have to.
Okay.
That's like the only single-use thing in my. People that aren't on the baby, tell them about the baby wipe.
No, they know. It's a topic. The fact that Dude Wipes or Shower Pill haven't sponsored me personally, it's beyond me. I invented. I use baby wipes. So with the Huggies, can I get some Pampers?
Just think about the creatures that are out there, just toilet paper the whole time.
Just grown men with lots of hair.
Oh,
boys are disgusting. You know what I mean? Anyway, so baby wipes is like the only single use thing that you have.
Yeah.
Bidets, have you ever tried that?
Yeah.
I haven't.
My dad has in our house in Chicago, my parents' house, they have I think they're the Kohler toilets, the ones that sing to you and open up when you walk by. And they have a bidet built in. They have a dryer. It doesn't work that well, but it'll come out and dry your butt.
Yeah. I have one. I never used it. Have never used it. I've been in places, in hotel suites. I've been in places where I've had the opportunity to just say, I'm gonna give it a shot, but I just can't get behind it. I don't know what it is, because I've power washed fences. I've power washed roads. I've power washed cars. I know that it just doesn't, you know what I mean? It's not that same thing. So I imagine that thing just like going everywhere, right? Like whatever I had yesterday, just going everywhere. You know what I mean? I'd rather just bloop right into it, flush as you drop, and then go up on about your day.
Well, you have to flush before you use the bidet.
Okay.
You can't just
I've never used
a fresh load in there and
I don't
turn the washer on.
A fresh load lasts maybe 5 seconds in my toilet. I waste water. I waste it as soon as something's on the way out. Flush, with the elbow.
Action.
Now the reason that you do the elbow, and a lot of people don't know this, the reason that you do the elbow is because the elbow is the only part of your body that you cannot lick.
I can lick my elbow.
No, you cannot.
Yes, I promise you. I can.
Show the people.
Okay.
You'll be like the first person.
I always wondered when this would have to come up, but
you can't. There's zero chance.
All right. You want to bet?
No, I don't want to bet now.
I've seen you in Vegas before.
Yeah.
All right. You don't want to bet now? All I did was roll my shoulders back.
Yeah, I can't do it.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's see if I don't know if
you still have
maybe
it?
I slept on my shoulder wrong or something.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what did it. Look, Matt's like, oh my God, he did it. Okay, thank you. Put it back in. Dude.
Put it back in.
Okay, so That's crazy. I've never said that. I mean, but then as I said, the elbow's the only part of your body that you can't lick. That's not true. I can't lick the back of my neck.
Can you imagine?
It's like, all right. So past all that. All right. So let's get back to the lifestyle of veganism. I guess it has gotten fun in the last, I don't know, 10 years when everybody said, well, just because we're vegans doesn't mean that we have to forfeit all good flavors on Earth. What is the daily routine? You walked in with a mason jar full of chai.
Yeah, I had to brew a big chai this morning because I only got 4 hours of sleep. So
okay, why?
I had to make sure I was perked up. I was working late night on some branding stuff for this company that I work on with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was keeping me up late. My schedule's actually been trash lately, but I've been more productive than ever. Somehow now I've been busier than I've ever been in my life right now, which is kind of strange. I feel like
why?
Just because of the time
COVID?
that we're in right now.
I guess that makes sense. Not a lot has changed for us. Like we made a commitment to each other from the very beginning that everybody was going to be safe and no one's going to get each other sick, right? And we said, look, if everybody follows the rules and everybody shelters in place, and you guys don't go anywhere, we will be safe here in the HECZ quarters if we all get together and do that, right? If you're not actively going out and touching everything and shopping and going to whatever, we'll be fine. So we made a commitment the entire team. We said, all right, this is what we're going to do to make sure that work continues to get done. Unfortunately for us, it came right as we were going to, and I don't think we've talked about this on the podcast. Unfortunately for us, they canceled, or they did the shelter in place across the United States right as our homestand was going to happen.
Ours too.
Yeah. Right. So ours too. He works at Empire. You haven't said
Empire,
that. Yeah. Dallas Empire. And you work as a producer, camera,
editor. I'm the guy.
Night. You're the guy
for the video stuff. Yeah.
You're my Maddie.
Yeah.
Okay. So that sucked for us because was yours before a week before? A week exactly before us.
We were
was
back
yours.
to back. Yeah.
Man, I got to tell you, I don't think I've in the podcast I've ever expressed the sadness that I had, and I talked to Andy for a long time about it and whether or not we were going to cancel it. And we it got to the point where we said, you know what, let's do the right thing here. Let's just cancel it. As much as it hurt, we have to cancel it. But then all the regulations came out and they canceled it for us, which made it easier. But it was going to be one of those things where it was going to be an epic.
I don't think there's any doubt that it was going to be the event.
Yeah. So I talked to Hasser about his and what he was planning on doing, and that shit was going to be raw too. You know what I mean? I know that you guys have some plan because Stro does a really good job at making things look amazing, right? At like an experience, and that's my whole focus from the beginning was that the second that I knew that I was going to get into the league and know that I was going to have to throw events, immediately my brain just went to work in the background and said, this is what we need, this is what we need, this is what we need. And we were super sad about that fact because a lot of work went into that. And I cannot tell you, Esports Engine with Adam Apicella and his new company, the amount of work that they put in, David Schwartz on our end with Brett and everybody on our team was just, I'm talking about insane amount of hours where I understood for the first time that if it wasn't for a solid infrastructure the way that we have it at Energy, I wouldn't have been able to pull that off on my own. Let me rephrase that. I would have been able to pull it off on my own, but by hiring people who are professionals. Luckily, these dudes are fucking smart as hell, obviously, and have done it before. So I don't know. I was just upset about the whole thing because the amount of work that went in, and just because a vision that I had didn't come to fruition, and that to me is tragic.
Yeah,
the most tragic thing that has happened to me in the last 5 years. Wait, that's not true. Anyway, so vegan.
Yeah. Damn, it really feels like it got stolen from us, huh? This whole season.
Yeah, the whole season, man. Yeah. And the bad thing about it is that we don't know when it's gonna go back.
Can you even imagine holding an event like that? Being in a room with 6,000 people right now or 7,000 people? I can't even think. I can't think about going to a concert or anything right now. It's crazy.
My concern as this whole thing went on is I was very, very sick at the Minnesota home opener, or the Minnesota opener, like Call of Duty opener. Really, really sick. And then once I felt that my fever was gone and I felt like, okay, I'm on the other end, I still went out to the event and, I never shake anyone's hand to begin with. But I also felt, I'm like, I'm breathing this thing, right? And I'm almost certain that I had it. Before we knew what it was, before we knew how dangerous it was, I'm pretty sure that I had it. And the fact that me, Matt, the whole team, everybody that has been with me, everybody that went to London with me, everybody that went to London, not just my team, everybody that went to London, were all exposed to this thing at some point or another. Some got really sick and some went on and just lived their lives as just a really bad flu, right? But if you put it into perspective, if this shit's going around and let's say I'm in the first 5 days of this thing, right? I don't have any symptoms, but I have it. And I'm out there taking pictures with fans, hugging people, fist bumping, going through the crowd, sneezing, coughing, yelling. When you yell, you spit.
Yeah.
I'm on the mezzanine and I'm talking down. People are throwing shit up and I'm throwing shit back. Like that would have been, like, I think the epicenter of what would have happened to the United States because of the amount of people that I infected. If that would have been, the case. But I don't know, man. This whole thing is so weird because it changed life. Period. Matt and I and Josefa went to Jake's Burgers right down the street, and as soon as we walk in, we see people with masks, but they pull out the thermometer, the gun thermometer, and then they took everybody's temperature as they walked in.
That's crazy.
And I'm like, okay, this is the new world. And little by little, we started to realize what the real world is. I just walked into a 7-Eleven, and they have glass at the counter.
Yep.
Right, and we're not in Chicago, so there's no need to have that, that bulletproof glass. I went to Macero a couple of days ago for a business meeting, and everybody there is gloves, face mask, the whole nine, and then every booth has glass around them, and then every booth skips a booth for the next people, and there's all like it's insane, and I don't know what it's going to take for us to get back to normal. And that, like, now more than ever scares me a little bit because it changes. What about basketball games? What about football games? What about everything that we know now as a culture? Like, where does it go?
We're going to see if the NFL can't boot up on time and at normal capacity. I feel like if football can't get it started, then we're in trouble because I feel like they had a lot of power.
But what happens then?
I don't know, man. We just waited out. I mean, I had it and it sucked. I would not.
What do you mean you had it?
I had the disease and I didn't get diagnosed, but I'm 99. I was sick for a month, like very sick for a month. Yeah. And I got it right after I went out on St. Patrick's Day with Flamesword. Not a smart idea. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I had everything, the fever, loss of taste and smell, all that stuff, loss of appetite, everything. So it was bad.
Lack of taste. This dude's vegan. What can you taste?
Yeah, I know. I was just munching on some grass, trying to.
What do you eat? Let's get back to it. What? Because I see you post on your Instagram, and all his information is gonna be down below. You posted a picture of this fucking bread. This bread that was shared around my group of texts. Like somebody sent it to me, and then Seth sent it to me, and then somebody else sent it to me. It was the tastiest piece of bread you would have ever seen. This dude cuts into it and it sounds and then steam just comes out. You're just mouth watering, like, wow, what so start from the beginning.
Okay, well, a quick optic related note, or
we get it.
Well, it was from Bose. So Bose DM'd me and said, responding to it, he said something like, bro, when the smoke came out, I was like, bro, come on. You can't call it smoke. Get out of here, man. But yeah, love Bose. I don't know. That was I get into this thing where I start baking and everything that I make ends up coming out at 1 a.m. for some reason. Yeah. So I have this midnight baking crusade that I've been on, and I baked that bread and it ended up coming out at 12 or 1. And I just set the camera up and cut into it. And I was like, oh man, I really don't want to eat this bread right now because I try not to eat after, certain time like most people do. And having a slice of bread at 1 a.m. when you're about to go to sleep isn't the best idea. So I cut into this thing and I was like, it was the first time that I made the bread. I had no idea. It looked really good. When I took it out, I was like, damn, I did a good job. But then I cut into it, and like you said, I hold it open, and all the steam comes out. I was like, oh man, like
Yeah, I'm
this is
eating the
great.
whole thing.
But I was getting like giddy because I was so excited that I just pulled this off somehow.
Yeah.
And then I sliced the bread, and I took a bite, and I was like, I think I said, oh my God, I love bread so much.
Yeah.
Or something.
I think everyone does too. And like
So good.
the fact that you're like, man, I can't wait to eat this. Like I was like, man, imagine a little mayo, mustard, ham, Black Forest ham, regular ham, bologna, the whole nine. Just disgusting meats in there. Would have been delicious.
Cold cuts. Ugh.
Just cold cuts, man. So tell me about the lifestyle of veganism. Like what more importantly, I want to know like where do you get the stuff and what do you make? Because I see some pretty tasty stuff, and I just assume that it's like if I eat that, that's healthy. It's not what I usually eat.
It's definitely, I would say, overall healthier. You know, there's obviously some things like my ice cream addiction is pretty bad. It's not, I mean, pretty much 1 for 1 on how bad it is for me.
Yeah.
Just with regular dairy ice cream. But I try to eat a lot of like, I'll wake up and I'll make like a smoothie bowl. So I'll do like acai, if you're familiar. I'll make an acai bowl, banana and acai and blueberries, and then blend that up and top it with all sorts of fruit, whatever I have, mangoes, banana, strawberries, all that good stuff. And then I mean, it just depends on what I'm making. I eat a lot of just like whole foods, so I try to eat just a lot of regular like fruits and vegetables. I'll make French fries in my air fryer that I just got, which is dope.
Air fryer?
Yeah, it's
Joe Fry's making fries. Go on.
How about it? It's basically it's a toaster oven, but they rebranded it for like millennials. It's a convection oven. Just it like heats and it has a fan in it so that the heat is evenly distributed, and you get like a crispier product. So you can air fry broccoli, or you can air fry French fries. Yeah,
air fried spinach is amazing.
May end up a little dehydrated, but yeah, I mean,
it's like a chip.
Yes.
Well, like a really thin chip. It just like dissolves in your mouth. Incredible.
Like kale chips.
Yeah.
You can do that.
I've never had one, but I'll take your word for it. Now, it is not. Is it more for you? Then we'll get into the juicy stuff. This is just questions from me asking you, right? Because I eat like a pig, and I know that I'm 40. You know what I mean? Is it more of a lifestyle that you chose to do that? Like, what is the reason behind that? Behind you not wanting to eat meat? Is it because you love animals and they deserve a fair shake?
No. So this is funny. I feel bad whenever I tell the story almost because when I went vegetarian to begin with, I did it as a just kind of out of the blue almost. I wanted to lose weight, and I was trying all these different diets. Newsflash, I look exactly the same almost.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same weight. I was on like the keto diet back when it was called the Atkins diet.
Yeah. Yep.
And doing the whole no carb thing. And I told myself if I ever have to eat another burger with no bun again, I'm going to puke everywhere. Yeah. So overnight, I was like, you know what? My friend did this experiment in high school. He went vegetarian for a month, lost 7 pounds. Like I could probably do that. And I just decided that night that I was gonna try and go vegetarian. And then once I got on, I'm like very one track minded. Like whenever I decide to do something, I have like indominant willpower. So I'm just gonna like do that thing and I won't let myself deviate. So once I did that, it was over. There was like one point 3 months in at MLG Anaheim where I almost took a bite of an In-N-Out burger. And once I didn't do that, it was game over. And then like 3 years later, I just watched a bunch of documentaries, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe cutting out the rest of this stuff that I really don't. I never liked eggs. I never liked milk. So like all that stuff was easy to go, but it was like baked goods and stuff like that. Yeah, like I never ate eggs by itself. I tried scrambled eggs one time ever, and I thought it was the most vile thing in the world. Never like
really.
Yeah,
I love eggs.
For cakes and stuff like that. I mean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's mixed with everything else. Yeah. So no dairy, but how do you make ice cream then, or where do you go for ice cream?
There's a couple different bases that you could use. Coconut is very popular. Yeah. Almond, a lot of the Ben and Jerry's non-dairy flavors use an almond base, but they almost all use coconut oil as well to give it to make a great non-dairy ice cream, you have to make it comparable, like with any type of vegan product, you have to make it comparable
To the
in
real
like the macronutrients to the real thing. So like,
I'm thinking taste. He says macronutrients.
yeah,
Go on.
well, you can't have like a low-fat ice cream that's vegan imitate something that's very rich in full fat in a dairy ice cream, and then it's like comparing apples to oranges. You know?
Yeah.
It's like eating a sorbet and being like, yeah, this tastes just like ice cream. It's not the same. So you need it to be like very fatty and very bad for you. It's just like vegan burgers. People are like, oh, it's not healthier. No shit, it's not healthier. It's supposed to imitate something that's not healthy for you. So
wait, so the Impossible Burgers,
terrible.
are they really?
Yeah. I mean, nutritionally, yeah. They're not. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they're good for you or
Yeah,
that
no,
you'll lose
but-
weight.
No. So no, because of the bread, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Jude's like, you should try some of these Impossible Burgers. I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to say?
They do. I mean, they are very, very comparable to.
I've had 'em.
I won't eat them because they're too. It's too close for
Yeah.
me. And I feel like, especially if I go to a place like Carl's Jr. or Burger King or something and get like a Beyond Burger, I'm always worried that they're gonna mess it up. Give me and I won't be able to tell the difference because it's been 13 years or whatever since I had it. So I don't know.
Yeah. What would happen, do you think? If you
Probably go to the hospital at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
If I ate the whole thing. Just I don't once you stop eating it, your body stops producing the enzyme to break it down. So you could actually get pretty
really
sick.
sick. Yeah. I imagine. Jeez. Didn't think. I don't. For that reason alone, I don't think that I'm ever gonna stop eating burgers.
I think mixing in one meatless day a week, you'd probably be pretty safe. You do like a meatless Monday or something.
Meatless Monday.
Yeah.
Nah. I don't know. I could maybe do like a meatless birthday. You know, like once a
Okay.
year, maybe.
Yeah, but your birthday is like the one. I love birthdays, and it's the one day of the year that's really only about you. And everybody's like, "Oh, I don't really care. It's my birthday." I'm like, "You should care. It's your birthday." Like, I always want to go all out for people on their birthdays.
Yeah, I do. I go all out for me every day. I think
that's
every
the better
day's my
way
birthday.
to live.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it, man. Okay, so let's start from the beginning, right? How did you start playing Halo? And then I guess we'll go in chronological order until we get to this beautiful era.
Okay.
In esports history.
Yeah. I started day one. We had an Xbox. My dad has always been. I mean, he's just a big kid.
Mm-hmm.
So every console that ever came out, we had it day one.
He played, or just for the kids?
He would play. He played growing up, and he played all throughout, like while I was growing up. So I would watch him play. Oh man, he had this thing called X-Band for the Sega Genesis, and it was the first iteration of online console play.
Okay.
So you literally, it was a cartridge that you plug the other cartridge on top of, like you know how they
Game Genie, Game Shark,
like that. And it had a dial-up. I don't even know what that's called.
Ethernet?
Is that terrible?
No.
Like a dial-up cord. It wasn't Ethernet. It was for a phone line.
Yeah, phone line.
Yeah. So you would dial up. It would make the same like AOL sound. Yeah. And then you would play against someone. He would play hockey against people online, and he was so serious about it. It was hilarious. But yeah, every system that came out growing up, we had everything, and it was no different when the Xbox came out. And with Halo, we started playing 4-split immediately. And then somebody introduced us to System Link, and I just started like everybody else. You play everybody in your neighborhood, and then you play everybody at school, and then you just keep looking for more. I was just viciously competitive, loud little shit.
Just looking for the competition.
Just looking for people to play. I earned the nickname Master Chief in high school because I played so much Halo. We played 8 hours a day every single day, and then more on weekends.
You and your brother?
No, just me.
Okay.
My brother didn't even play at this point.
Oh,
he would play Halo 1 with us a little bit, but he never played Halo 2. So he would play when he was really young, and I think it helped his shot maybe a little bit. And then he didn't play for a while. He was really into sports always. But I met Flamesword online in 2005 on Xbox Live. So him and I have been friends since like 2005, Halo 2, like pretty much the very beginning of online play, and played together throughout that whole time. I took breaks here and there. I went to my first national tournament in 2004 in New York. Drove there with my cousin. We placed 22nd. I will never forget. I blew it game 3 of the 3-game series.
Yeah.
You
blew it.
I was like the main slayer, and I just laid an egg in the last game and felt so bad.
Still to this day talking about it.
Still feel bad about it. Yeah.
Yeah. That could have been it, man.
It could have been my big break.
Yeah.
For a $5,000 prize pool or something.
Split by 4.
Yeah. Crazy what happened. It was like a 225 person tournament, though. It was crazy. They had qualifiers all over the US at LAN centers. We had to drive like 5 hours to qualify for this thing. And
who ran it?
It was Lil Poison's dad. X Tournaments. And not familiar? Lil Poison? A little piece of MLG history. The youngest pro gamer at that time. He was like 8.
Yeah.
MLG signed him.
Yeah. I think
little kid.
Little Poison. There may have been somebody else that wanted to come play for us. I think that. Okay. Wow. I literally just got a vision of what happened in that very specific moment. All right, go on.
Yeah. So then once Halo 3 started, I was never like really allowed to go. We never traveled to go to any tournaments for me, but I played paintball and stuff growing up. We got to travel and stuff for that, but. For some reason, my parents never let me. Maybe I didn't want to go. I don't know. I never got to go to any of like the MLG events in 07 besides like the Chicago Open. But once my brother started playing, after Halo 3 came out, and he was terrible, by the way. But once he started playing, then the whole family was on board. Let's take a trip to the Meadowlands. Let's go. MLG 2008, And
who's older, you or him?
Me.
Okay.
So I paved the way, and then once he wanted to do it, then everybody was all in.
Yeah, but they would have let you go if you wanted to, right?
Probably,
because if you were able to go to New York with your cousin.
Yeah, but I had like a chaperone with me. If I was to go, I probably would have had to go alone to the MLG tournaments, and my mom's very protective of all of us.
I think all moms are very protective.
Yeah,
bless their soul.
Yeah. Definitely my mom a little bit extra, though, I would say.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's got that personality type. It's like the protector. If you take the Myers-Briggs test, the defender, she like plays. She's
the airbag?
3 arms come out when she does that.
Okay. Yes.
But yeah. So once we all, once my parents saw, once my dad saw what it was, because he would come down and watch me play one-on-ones in Halo 2. I was on like the front page of Bungie, like the head-to-head leaderboard. I got into like the top 25 right when the game came out. So I was decent, at least, placed semi in Halo 3. So Nadeshot thinks he could beat me one-on-one. I think it's hilarious.
Still
hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm a champion. All right.
Yeah.
In Call of Duty. Come on. We know where the superior gamers are.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, once my dad saw what it was, I think it reignited like the kid in him a little bit, and he really got invested. And once like he saw that Ants wanted to go like all the way in it and started to improve and place better, he was all in on getting Ants the best team possible. And that's how, one of the guys from Flamesword's old team, they had to drop him or he quit playing. And then I was like, you should pick up Ants.
Yeah.
Like, you should pick up my brother. And then they ran games with him. All of a sudden, Ants is on the team with Flamesword. And, I got him his first break. It's not a big deal. He's never paid me back for it yet, but
he will one day, I'm sure.
One day. And then from there, it's history. Him and Flame went on to place really well. They almost got top 8, their first tournament. And then famous flag fumble by Alumni. Couldn't get the 5th flag in on Onslaught. Capture the flag, heartbreaker.
This is why I wanted to have you on. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the whole story right now, and then we'll continue to go down that route. Everything that you're talking about, I've heard about, but I wasn't witness to it. The only thing I remember about Halo is 2 things: one, seeing you guys on TNT or USA whichever
Network,
one, and thinking we can do that in Call of Duty. And the second time was actually being at a Call of Duty event, our first ever here at the Hilton Anatole, and seeing how big the crowd was for that. Seeing Pistola, the Ogres, come out on stage and everybody go wild. I'm like, holy shit. there's something wild here. That's the first time I ever signed an autograph too. But that to me was the wild part, right? Like that they came out and they saw it, and I saw him. I'm like, look at Ola. Like it's just a regular, dude. Looked kind of nerdy, but once you got to meet him, obviously super fun. Can't wait to have him on the podcast.
And an absolute wizard on the sticks.
Yeah, absolute best movement ever. Everybody said. Anyway, doesn't matter. The fact that I witnessed what it was like, I'm like, I can't ever not do this or be a part of this. Yeah. All right, so go on. Where were we?
Yeah, so I mean, my brother teamed with Flame for a long time, and then once it was time to move on, he ended up eventually playing for Triggers Down and had a lot of success there, despite being one of the most hated players maybe of all time.
Who was?
My brother.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, polarizing, I guess, but our whole family was very hated for a long time.
Why?
If not the whole time.
Why?
Because we had like the whole sponsor kid, like rich kid stigma, and it never really left. Like, people thought that Ants was undeserving of his spot when he joined Status Quo, and then that kind of just followed him throughout the years when he eventually played for Triggers Down, when he played for Final Boss. Like, that whole thing never really left.
Yeah, but what? I don't get this mentality, and we've talked. I talked about this one with General, because General's going through the same sort of thing, right? Like, rich or poor, once you're on main stage, none of that shit fucking matters. It's this, and this. Yeah, that's it. What? Like, that makes no sense. Anyway, but I understand it completely. Humans are haters. You know what I mean? They see something and they just hate to hate.
Yeah.
So I hate haters, so I guess I hate too.
Absolutely.
So all right, so. I can't believe that. I really didn't know that. For this whole time, from an outsider's perspective, I thought your family was like... Did they get paid for this? No.
Oh, no. This was
This is what I fucking mean. How can a family doing all of this for Halo be fucking hated? Makes fucking no sense. Morons.
It's really, really crazy.
Yeah, but I understand it because, like, I think General went through something like that. His family went through something like that too. Yeah. I think like they spent millions of dollars into Call of Duty and they were like hated.
Yeah.
And it blows my fucking mind. And I don't know if it's because I've been so close to Call of Duty and know what it takes to be able to provide some of that stuff that they were providing to players, that they don't get it, but this fucking brats. You know what I mean? All right, let's get back to it. Let's not get into. No, don't get me fucking fired up. No. Actually, you know what? Give me a couple of seconds. Let me give a quick shout out to the sponsor. All right, just give me a quick second. I want to get back to that. Just let me give a quick shout out to our sponsor this week. Coming back yet again for another one is none other than Honey. Okay, online shopping is supposed to be easy. I do it a lot. So why is it so hard to find coupon codes that actually work? I don't know. Thanks to Honey, it doesn't have to be. Honey is the free online shopping tool that saves you money online. Honey automatically finds the best promo codes and applies them to your cart, which makes online shopping finally feel as easy as it's supposed to be. Just so you guys know, and we've mentioned it last time we did this, Matt is an avid Honey user. My man finds all the deals. Yesterday, we were about to pay close to $400 in Panda Express food, but it ended up being way cheaper. I don't know how much cheaper, but I did pay for it and whatever. But it does work. How much money do you think you've saved total? Hundreds?
500, 600.
Like hundreds of dollars this man has saved. Imagine, so how it works is like, imagine you're shopping at one of your favorite shops, whether it's Target, Walgreens, Walmart, you name it, any of them. When you go to checkout, you click on this little box. This little box then sort of goes into the internet and grabs all the coupons, expire. Okay, this one works. Boom, boom, puts it, applies it to the one that the one that gives you the biggest discount is the one that's applicable to that. Okay, again, this is something that we use here at the HECZ quarters. Obviously, we've bought a lot of stuff, nothing here, but all the other stuff like microphones, cables, like everything, we use Honey. We make sure that we do that because we have to be fiscally responsible. Yes, I said fiscally, because we have to be fiscally responsible, obviously, right? How much did we save? How much I don't know exactly how much we've saved, but definitely in the thousands of dollars, right? Because of the TVs, the monitors, whether it's BenQ, Alienware, like all these things. When we go to Best Buy, we hit that, we get that coupon, and we get that crazy discount, okay? Because Honey has found its over 18 million members, over $2 billion in savings. Can you believe that? 18 million people have saved over $2 billion, dude, just by clicking a button. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online, and they're adding more every single day, okay? Now, not using Honey is literally passing up free money, and I hate that. I can't wait for Honey to come over to Twitch so you can get a discount on your subprime, on your Prime subscription. Subprime used to mean something else in the mortgage day. But yeah, you don't use it, you're literally leaving money on the table, and that's not good for anybody, especially in this climate. It's free to use and installs in just 2 clicks. Get Honey for absolutely free at joinhoney.com/eavesdrop. That is joinhoney.com/EAVESDROP. One more time for the people in the back. Get Honey for free at joinhoney, joinhoney.com/EAVESDROP. And obviously, Turtle Beach being the best headset out there. Gosh darn it, I've been using them since the beginning of time, and you can see it way up there with the Air Force Ones. If that doesn't tell you something, then this certainly will. The Headquarters is sponsored by, not only is the team sponsored, but the Headquarters itself. I myself am sponsored by Turtle Beach, and that is the only thing that we use here in the Headquarters. Every single station has the Elite Pros V2, and like I said, I'm a big fan of them. They have allowed me to do a bunch of cool stuff, and we continue to do that. Best audio out there, so highly recommend it. Go to turtlebeach.com. If you use code HECZ, H3CZ, you can get 10% off of your next purchase. And yeah, if you do buy something, why don't you hit me up on Twitter, and I'll send you some free stuff, maybe. Just show me proof. Anyway, Joe, back to you. So yeah, huge shout out to them. All right, so let's get back to it. Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. All right, so please continue.
Yeah,
I'm learning something here.
I guess a lot of people, if you weren't around then, I mean, the forums, this is back. You got to remember all this stuff that we're about to talk about probably for the next, hours. Mm-hmm. In a time that almost predates Twitter. Like, Twitter just came out. This is like 2008, 2009. Twitter came out,
2009.
2009, yeah. So we all have join dates in like 2009 because it was popping, or it just started. But the forums were still a thing, and like after every tournament, you would read like, MLG, like post whatever Anaheim results thread or pre, the Tots is going to suck this event, like F this kid, whatever. It's all hate. And no matter what, if they played bad or placed badly, it was all on him. Mm-hmm. That's a lot to carry for like a, 16-year-old kid, which, we were all dealing with it. It came down on like the whole family pretty much, which, unjust, and it sucked, but this is a little bit before this time. And then when this happened, it kind of is still, when we started the LAN network, it was still like people still did it on our own forums. Mm-hmm. We had our own forums, and people were still hating, and like the service was free for the first, I think, year that we did it. It was all free for
them. For you guys, it cost.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, once we switched to like a subscription model, $5.99, I think, a month or something, and then you could buy the individual lands if you wanted to, for more, if you just wanted like a one-off. People revolted. Like, this should be free. What do you do? I'm like, free?
Yeah.
Do you understand that my parents would go to Costco and spend like $2,000 on food for a weekend, and then go back to Costco to do a separate drink run just to get drinks for the weekend?
Okay. Yeah.
Insane stuff.
Yeah. People don't know.
No.
And this was in an age where YouTube wasn't as popular as it was, because I just joined YouTube in 2000. Well, I joined super early, but I started uploading like in 2009 seriously. And these services weren't just readily, Twitches weren't readily available.
Twitch wasn't around.
Right. So this is my issue there, right? Because if it's in this day and age, and there's something that people will understand the costs go into it, but they also say YouTube is there for free and you get paid off the ads and you don't do that. People don't understand what it takes to make the piece of entertainment that they enjoy, what it takes to get it up and running.
Yeah.
Okay. And especially in that day where there's no free service like YouTube or fucking Twitch to watch for free, where do you compare it for? Do you watch your TV for free? Do you watch your TV shows for free? Like, no, moron, you don't. You fucking pay for it. Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, that was like I think that was the beginning of like the freemium movement, like after that, Twitch came out and like all these other services started, games became free, but this is before, this is when, like you said, in an age where you had to pay for everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was crazy. I mean,
what did you guys use to broadcast?
Dude,
what?
We had to buy a specific component that was only available in China.
Okay.
For the capturing of this stuff. I think we had the
Hauppauge, yeah.
Yeah. We had 16 of them because you had to have one for every feed.
Yeah, of course.
Or 8. We had 8 of them because we would broadcast all 8 points of view, and you could choose who you wanted to watch by clicking on their picture on the site. 2008.
Wow.
2009.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff, a lot of it hasn't been replicated.
No, still to this day.
And I mean, the cable drops, the cable management at the Americana courthouse. There's a scene in Bravo's TLN uncut, uncensored, whatever, like his tribute to the LAN network, where you see the cords coming out of the ceiling, and it's just like something that you would imagine in like a server room. I mean, just like braided cable just dropping from the ceiling over every, like all 8 like stations, or all 8. Yeah.
Help me paint the picture. What was the LAN network? What did it look like? Where was it? Location and all that. Okay. And then we'll get back to the cable drop because I want you to fill in those holes in my imagination.
Yeah. So there were 2 houses, different memories in each, different vibes in each, much like the Russell Drive and the what was it, 6050, and then the what was the other one, the
1235 McAlpin.
Yeah.
And then 74 Brinker was the Counter-Strike one.
Yeah, I never got to go to the Counter-Strike house, but I was at both of the other houses.
Yeah,
very reminiscent of the LAN network vibes. But we had the 360 house, the 360 carry courthouse, which was the house. That was the house that I grew up in. The house that we started the LAN network in.
So you did it at your own house. Is it the house in front of the lake that I've been to?
No. That's a new house.
Okay.
Yeah. So you never got to breathe in the vibes. Yeah. That was the house I grew up in. We did it in the basement, the basement for all time. Whenever somebody refers to the basement, it is that basement. And then we had the Americana courthouse, which was the house that we leased specifically to run the LAN network. And
for
when
free.
I say we, I mean
you guys didn't have to pay anything for that either.
Yeah,
no electricity, no gas, no water,
no costs
rent.
associated.
Yeah, no.
The government actually said, please take this house, lease it, and for free, and provide the LAN network service to
free.
The people.
Yeah, of course. Subsidies from the government. Go on.
So yeah, at my house, we held the first LAN, and it was so janky. We have all these pictures of like Flamesword back when he was skinny little like rat New Jersey kid. Had just like 2 rows of tables. Had to scrounge to get the monitors, mismatched monitors and stuff.
Walmart was just giving you free monitors, by the way, and Xboxes and controllers and fucking cables. Go on, all for free.
One full setup, and then we had one of the TVs, one of the points of view hooked up to a projector, and it was being projected behind, so like other people could watch. We had people over, my dad's friends and stuff. People were like, "What the hell is this?" Nobody had ever seen anything like that before. And after that, pretty much, I would say almost immediately, we moved from that to 2 full stations owned by us. So like 16 Xbox 360s, 16 monitors. The whole Astro came in, gave us the racks. We had the Astro racks with the mix amps on them. And then we started broadcasting after that with 16 basically. We would
What
do
did you
the
broadcast on just to your website?
Yeah, so we had to own like the domain and the server.
Yeah.
And
A server big enough to be able
have
to
the bandwidth.
Yeah, the
we
bandwidth.
We peaked, I think, our best concurrents ever were like 35,000, 36,000 back then.
You see numbers like that today in esports.
Yeah.
In esports competitions. You see numbers like that today.
Yeah. I mean, it would smoke Halo's numbers for the past 5 years.
Yeah. To this day.
Yeah.
Right. Gears. Smoked. You know what I mean? Okay.
It's crazy, man.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah. Once
with no technology, not the technology that we have today, and we'll get into Halo and what Halo needs today to be able to have a resurgence, right? But those numbers like dwarf what we're experiencing nowadays. Like, has there been a Halo tournament this year?
No.
And it's not because of the current state of this thing. It's just because there weren't any, right? Or has there been any announcements as to what they're doing?
They're going to start doing Halo 2 Anniversary.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was talking to Tashi about that. Shout out to him. Fucking awesome dude. All right, so let's continue. So you peak concurrence with 35,000 one of the tournaments. One of these.
Yeah, one of these lands. Yeah. And we would run a lot of them. I mean, you could see some of them were like back to back. I don't know where they are, but this October 7th to 10th, and then we had one that was like September or something.
This one?
That one. Yeah, right. So that was the weekend before, and then this one was the very next weekend. So we had a 3-team LAN and then a 6-team LAN. So we would have 6 teams come out of 4 plus coaches. It's already, that's 30 people right there sleeping on the floor all over like each other. It's I mean, it was just such a different time. It was like a fraternity, like a brotherhood. Like, we really changed how all these guys interacted with each other. The whole culture of, before some people hated each other, it was very like compartmentalized, and we brought everybody together and everybody became better friends. And then it kind of became cliquey, which I'll get into later on. But I mean, 6-team LAN. So we'd have 4 teams playing and 2 teams on break. And my dad would write the whole schedule. We would do every normal LAN was like Thursday to Monday or Wednesday to Monday. They'd play a ladder from Wednesday or Thursday to Saturday night. And then Sunday we'd run. Sorry, Meek Millen over here.
Yeah.
All the, you hear me walk up to the mic. Dream Chasers.
Shout out.
But we would. Sorry, I lost the jewelry clank and lost my train of thought.
Good. Your dad was putting it together.
Yeah. So Wednesday to Saturday, they'd run a ladder and build up a record, and then Sunday that record would seed you for a mock tournament. So we'd actually run like a double elimination bracket on Sunday all day instead of playing
and he would
ladder
do
series.
All this and his regular job.
Do all this his regular job, and he would keep stats for the whole LAN. We had stats for everybody: kills, deaths, assists.
Jesus Christ!
I think we had time too, objective time, and flag captures.
Yeah. So all that with no technology.
Yeah, and we built a full fantasy engine,
like a fantasy team.
We had teams and something that also hasn't been done since, that we have since patented and are working on now to re-release to the world.
Cool.
But yeah, so we had my dad, this is where my dad really shines because he's a freak for this stuff. He's been running a football pool for 30 years with the same guys. So we had fantasy for you could build a team, and instead of sitting there and doing a draft, you would rate everybody that you wanted, like 1 to 30 or whatever, and you would just put them in order. And sorry, you would get put into pools with people.
Yep.
However many, if there's a 6-team LAN, you'd be in a team with 6 or a pool with 5 other people, and it would auto draft
the people
based on who you wanted, and then it would be a snake draft. So like last person would get 2 picks, whatever. And then the other fantasy thing was a live fantasy like prediction engine where you would, before each series, it would be like, all right, final boss is playing triggers down. What's the score of the series? Who wins? And then you'd predict that. And then every game, first game's capture the flag on the pit. what's the score? And based on how close you were, you would earn points. And at the end, we'd give prizes to whoever had the most points.
What would the prices look like back then? Like the pools?
You know, sometimes
prize pools. How?
Oh, prize pools.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this stuff I'm just talking about, like giveaways.
Okay.
But you're talking about prize pools for the tournaments.
Yeah.
$20,000 for first place divided by 4 people.
Okay. And where did the fans think that money fucking came from?
Oh, no. Oh, for ours? I thought you meant the MLG tournaments.
No. Okay.
Oh, yeah. For the players, no. They were just doing this for practice. There was no prize or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were these lead ups to an MLG event?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. See, this is why I felt it important today and yesterday when I got these to have this told, because I never watched any of this, but I know the importance of it just because of the importance of it, right? And when somebody isn't present for a moment like this, but has heard of it and has heard its legend, it becomes important, right? I only know the LAN network because of what everybody was talking about back then. Did I watch Halo? No, I didn't. Did I know all these teams by heart? No, I didn't know what player played on what. No, I heard names. I heard Walshy for sure. You know what I mean? I heard T Squared. You know, I heard these names, but I never really followed it. But that, to me, is what made it interesting. Why do I care? Why do I, Hector, care so much about the importance of this thing in that? Because it had to have been that important that I have heard of its legend. You know what I mean? So, pardon my ignorance. Now I know.
And it is legendary. You could talk to any of these people on any of these sheets, and they all have a story, and they all hold it so highly.
Yeah.
And talk about it as like the best times of their life. It's crazy. I mean, you even see like in the replies yesterday on the tweet, you know, you got people Ghost coming out. Oh my God, you know, like the memories, man, like the basement, whatever. I reached out to Walsh last night and asked him if he had any like memories that he like when he thinks of the LAN network that come to mind. And Walshy's like, yeah, his classic story is being woken up during the winter LAN that we did. So besides these practices, we had a couple really notable LANs that the winter LAN kind of kickstarted the whole LAN network idea. So we called up all these pros. This was before we even knew anyone really. My brother was playing pro, but he was a low level, like top 16 pro with Flame back when they weren't very good. And I tried to call Fist and get the full story on this, but I was in a lobby with Fear Itself and we were playing Halo 3 and we ran into Walshy in matchmaking, and Fear Itself was friends with Walshy. I was like, Walshy, you got to come over to my house and come to this LAN that we're having during the winter. We're having everybody. We didn't have anybody. It was like me, Flamesword, and Fear Itself. And I'm trying to like sell this thing. And Walshy ends up agreeing to come. And then I remember vividly like me, Fear Itself, and Walshy standing at my counter once he got there. And we had a bunch of people coming at this point. And Walshy calls up Strong Side and he's like, dude, there's so many people here. You got to come to this. And the next day, Strong Side shows up. And like all of a sudden, all these people who were like my idols growing up playing Halo are all at my house. And like, it was just the craziest thing. Like, I'll never forget when I walked in, I was picking up somebody from the airport. Back then, there was no Uber.
No.
We had to pick up every single one of these people from the airport. We had to schedule people's flights to make sure that we brought in like the optimal amount of people at a certain time. People had to wait at the airport for other people so that we could make the minimum amount of trips. We had, 4 or 5 people doing airport pickups. It was insane. So I come back and I had no idea what's going on because we're just, driving around all day. I come back in and I open the door to my house, and my dad knows that I'm a huge Walshy fan. And I took pictures of my screen when he sent me that friend request after I talked to him, and he runs up to me. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Joe? I'm Walshy." Like with his look that he gives you. And I lost it. I was like, it was just such a surreal moment for me. Like this person that, you know, I've regarded so highly my entire life is in my house and is about to play Halo with me. Like it's such a weird thing. But yeah, the Winterland was crazy. That was like I said, the thing that kicked it off. We had I want to say 45, 50 people. And we had to get hotel rooms. Like there were people just sleeping on top of other people. And Dave was sleeping by the NBA Jam arcade machine, which was
Walshy.
Well, Walshy was sleeping by the NBA Jam arcade machine, which is a very popular arcade machine. and the sleep schedules when you have 50 people there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people up 24/7,
Yeah.
and Dave just wakes up to hearing the jam machine going off, like all those classic razzle dazzle and you know, just those crazy classic phrases. He's heating up. So Dave had to move his spot, but he said that, and then my dad instigating as much or more than any of the pros that were there, because my dad would just rile everybody up. They'd play this Daytona racing game, and my dad would try to get under everybody's skin.
Yeah.
And just drum up drama between everybody that was there. I don't know. It was part of the thing that made, you know, it was just such a family thing. It's fun, man.
It had to have been, I mean, I can't imagine. We held a LAN once where we invited maybe 3 teams. I mean, for here, it's different because it's the hex word is not my house.
Right.
But at 6050, we had SB at the Strictly Business. We had Optic Gaming and Nation. And then we had one fourth one. And I was just like, this is way too much, man. I'm like, fuck, I got to order food. And obviously, Uber Eats and shit like that didn't exist back then.
Right.
Or are as popularized as they are today. That's insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like the amount of stuff that you guys were able to do from a technological standpoint back then when it didn't exist is amazing.
I mean, not only do we have 8 points of view that you could change through, we also had 24/7 live cameras in the house, like
with
the
audio?
real world. Yeah, with audio.
No.
Yeah.
That's bad. Okay, go
It's
on.
crazy.
Yeah.
Not in the bedrooms,
No.
but in the common rooms of the house, there's, you know, and
and people would tune in
basement
and
cam.
just watch. We've discussed this, right? Maddie and I have talked about putting a 360 live cam in the middle of the hex quarters. No audio, right? Obviously, I've very sometimes I take calls here that are, you know, obviously not top secret, but you know, it's not for public consumption, so it wouldn't work. But for LAN, we did that once. You know, we just put the FaZe logo, the logo, the OG logo, and all the other logos that were here for the teams that they came to practice. Genji, I think, was one of them, and something else. But we had the live feed, no sound, no audio. I don't even think we put music. It was just like live, and people tuned in to watch that. I can only imagine what it would have been like back then if we would have done it at 6050, if we would have done it at McAlpin, at the Scuff House. Like, I can only imagine how many people would have tuned in to just watch what we do.
You guys would have brought in dollars.
Yeah. But I also think like nothing really like was popping back then. Like we got up, we did our work, and then everybody went into their rooms and did their own thing. It wasn't like we congregated in the kitchen. We did, you know, man, that kitchen, amazing. Like, Jesus, the good times.
It was usually a disaster too.
It was usually a disaster because Joe Fries and Flamesword would leave fucking baked salmon in the oven for like 3 days.
Not me though. No fish.
I think it was you. Oh no, it wasn't. Who was it? Was it? Oh, it was Ace.
That sounds a lot more like, yeah. That's an Ace play for
in there
sure.
somewhere. Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, there you go. There he is. Yeah, that's who it was. My bad, bro. Yeah, it's like they couldn't beat me. I don't eat fucking fish. That's so true. All right, so
it's crazy though that you mentioned that everybody would go into the room and do their own thing, and I hadn't thought about it until you just brought it up. But I think it almost, the only person that was really streaming at this time on their own was Ninja, and he didn't even come around until Reach. But I think it almost helped out that technology was just in a different place back then, because there wasn't anything else to do. Like, smartphones weren't even really a thing.
Right.
We were on the iPhone 3GS, the iPhone 4. Like, there was barely, like, nobody was on their phones. We were all hanging out together. So like, when we weren't playing, we were either, you know, in a area where there at the Americana courthouse, there was like a L-shaped couch, and there were my dad bolted 2 monitors to the wall so we could watch 2 feeds of what was going on at the LAN, so we could just chill and watch more gameplay. So we were in the pool. We were all just hanging out together. There wasn't other things to do. We weren't going to go and play other games on a PC or anything like that. It's crazy.
yeah, how many? I mean, think about. You mentioned Ninja, right? He's obviously like the super notable one today, right? But you have names in here like Lunchbox and Roy, the twins.
Yep.
The Sawtooth twins, and then the ogre. Did I
Subs made
see?
an appearance. Yeah, of course. Tom's on
right there. So like the Walshies of them, like the amount of people that are like just legends in console esports, like came through your doors to do what you now see as something that's natural with technology available. So for me, it's like one of those, like the wildest shit. Sorry, never mind. To me, again, the technology part was the number one thing, right? Because he brought it up. He's like, didn't they invent Twitch before Twitch was a thing? And I'm like, no, it was me that invented Twitch before Twitch was a thing. But it's crazy like that. As a parent, as a player, as a regular dude, how do you think about like, hey, we need to televise this? You know what I mean? Just the term televise. You know what I mean? Like if you think like how you had to go to Japan. What would you say? You ordered it from China?
Yeah. China.
Yeah, China. The technology to be able to do that, like that, in the amount of cameras, the amount of Xboxes, the amount of like work that had to have gone in there, because after it's all said and done, you take it down, right? Where did you guys store? You just left it in the basement?
Kept it up. Okay. Always. We always had people over at the house. Whether we had like a strong couple locals that would come, and we would be playing. That's all we did. Mm-hmm. All we did was play Halo. I mean, it was. Man, what a time. Yeah, what a just completely different time, man.
Yeah, I mean the importance the importance of Halo in Call of Duty history, the importance of Halo in console esports and esports in general, like it's no other. This had to have been the first esport that was televised on American TV, right? Yeah. It had to have been. Because up until that point, I don't remember anything, and I'm not
at least in a series. I think there might have been one-offs with like Quake or something.
I don't think
CS so. Back in the
was
day.
There Counter-Strike? I don't think so.
I mean, we're talking 07 USA Network. It was a big deal.
07 USA. You guys being
06,
on there.
07,
I know that's what I mean. Like it was an important thing because of the amount of people that spawned from it, right? Like I was inspired by it, and because of that inspiration, I strived for a certain thing. And I made this thing happen, right? Like, I don't know where I would be today. And I don't, maybe I'm in the same spot. I don't know. But the fact that I saw that and it inspired me, I saw that and I'm like, I want to be a Walshy that's able to buy a house with money made from video games. I want to have my own clothing line named Kenetto or whatever the fuck it was called.
Did you think that way from the very beginning?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's really interesting because when I went to my first tournament, like I said in 2004, if somebody were to tell me, hey, you could like this could be your job one day, I would have been like, get the fuck out of here. Like there's no way.
No.
I would have never stopped thinking about doing that.
I never stopped. I haven't stopped. I'm still doing it. I'm still thinking about it daily. You know what I mean? Like if I look at what this looked like back then and what it looks like today, it's the same thing that I go through every single day. I'm like, this looks like this today. What does it look like, in the future? And I already know. Fucking clairvoyant up in this bitch. Nostradamus. You know what I mean? Like I know where this is going. I know what it's gonna look like. I know everything. All right, let's start wrapping it up a little bit. I picked the worst day because we have a tournament today and we have so much more to talk about.
What's a tournament?
A tournament?
I mean, like what tournament?
Oh, it's the Family Feud, the Energy Family. Well, it's a Huntsman Family Feud. We just got sponsored by Popeyes, so we're doing a Family Feud tournament, which is just people from our company.
Cool.
Our team.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna be. Anything else that I missed that you want to talk about?
I mean, let me just go into the notes.
Yeah, please go into the
notes.
And for future guests, write your own notes that you may want to talk about because I ask questions as things pop up, but when it comes down to it, it's up to you guys to drive it. What did you have in there?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch like quickly on the fact that my mom and my aunt would make all the food for the LANs pretty much because
like what?
Like chicken breasts and corn and just like regular grill food.
Yeah.
Because it got too big. When you have 50 people over, it's too big to order out. Like you can't. I mean, my dad would order pizzas sometimes, but it's like you order like 15 pizzas or something.
More.
Like
50 people.
Yeah,
I would order 100 pizzas.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
just
insane.
in case.
Food runs became a silent food run. People don't understand. Like, I wish I could talk to all these people and just like shake them. The people that are like, "Oh, you ordered Uber Eats without me." It's like, dude, back in the day, we had to go drive. Like, somebody had to go physically drive to get the food and come back. And if you didn't tell other people that you were doing that, and you went silently, it's a whole different time commitment that we're talking about. Not just like going, doot, 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 okay, my food's coming. You had to go there and get it and come back. Like, it took time out of gaming.
Yeah.
It actually took time away from gaming.
Yeah.
That was just a completely different thing. The airport runs I talked about, silent food runs, bannable offense. Doing all this with no sponsors on the LAN network, just completely out of the
goodness of your parents,
of my parents' hearts, and the sheer will to turn Halo 3 in 2010 into something that it definitely wouldn't have been without it, because all these people will say, I mean, by the end of it, like this LAN, if you look at the top 6 from whatever tournament came after this October 7th to 10th LAN, I guarantee you probably 5 of those 6 teams were in the top 6.
Yeah.
If not all 6 of them. And it got to the point where you had to come or you weren't going to place.
Yeah.
Like, and that was how valuable that practice was back in the day when, I mean, nobody was doing it and the game was played, considerably different on LAN.
Yeah, of course.
The fantasy camp that we did, geez, we would have 4 or 6 pro players come as captains, and then we would fill out the rest of the 20 or 22 people with kids that paid to come play with those people. So they would scout them on the first day, and then they'd do the same thing. They'd have a mock tournament, and it was just a cool, fun. The kids got to hang out with the pro players and interact with them in a way that like you would never be able to do. Like, imagine having something like that at the Optic House would be insane. It would be too
big of a headache for
freakish.
Hector.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it. I'm not kind like that. My kindness only goes so far. Goddammit.
Just the interaction and the community that we built, I thought was really unique and cool. And like the winter and summer lands or something that everybody always wanted to get invited to. And, we only had so much room in the house, so we could only invite like 40 or 50 people, which ended up being like almost the whole pro scene. But
you said that people turn those clicks. What did you?
Yeah, that's actually the last thing that I have written down is Ninja. So, we could talk about that really quickly.
No, don't rush. Don't fucking rush. Go on.
So as Halo 3 ended and Halo Reach started, there were some tournaments that overlapped that were like Reach, almost like teaser tournaments or like combines. And then that back when they had the MLG combines, you remember that? Man,
yeah,
a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then they had some Reach tournaments at the Halo 3 tournaments that were smaller, just kind of like farm talent, almost like how the amateur scene is today for Call of Duty. And Ninja was one of those guys who's an up and coming player at the time. And he was like trying to come to one of the LANs so badly. And because of this like brotherhood thing that we built, and Ninja was like a little out there. He's like a very, I mean, he has a lot of, he has a lot of personality. He's like a very like,
and he's always been that way.
Yes. Yeah. He's the way that you see him on stream or like in YouTube videos is like exactly how he is in real life. He has so much energy, more energy than I think I've ever seen anybody else have. But he, for some reason, the other, like there was some, it was like a little skittish. Like the whole pro community was like, I don't know about this guy. He's like all about his, like he streams, which was weird at the time because none of the top players streamed. He streamed on Justin TV. Like the kid's been doing it forever. So everybody thought he was like lame for doing that. And he would, he had all his gimmicks. He'd wear the cow hat and stuff. So yeah, if you remember watching him that early, so everybody was like, no, we don't like this kid, whatever. And my dad was like, no, he's coming. So my dad gave him the green light to come in, and it was like one of these smaller lands. It was my brother was on Instinct. It might have been this one. Yeah, there he is. We got like only
what team is this?
Victorious Secret.
Okay, not trademarkable. Go on.
And I think that like silhouette is Jessica Rabbit. If you
you're very familiar.
So yeah, this LAN we actually got like the 3 best Reach teams and then my brother's team, and just kind of like blackballed all the other pro teams and just had like a closed Reach LAN with the best Reach competition we could find, just to get my brother's team more prepared than any other team. And I think that was the first time Ninja was over at the house, and he spent many hours there, and a lot of time sleeping on the floor and playing Final Fantasy, and just like streaming from any of the PCs whenever he got a chance to.
Yeah.
So man, what a wild time.
Yeah.
Different.
That is it is different. Okay. I had a question for you, and then we got into this click stuff. It had to have been difficult though, because none of these teams were owned by the players, right? They were.
Yeah, this was all MLG owned the rights, I think, to every logo at the time. So they own the rights to everything. I think they've since like relinquished the like Final Boss logo and stuff like that.
I think they did that like a long time ago.
Yeah. But yeah, at the time, I mean, this is all. I mean, we had like the Players League and like, yeah, I mean, the players basically had no power back then. So. Yeah, also very different.
The thing about that is that the players always have the power. You know what I mean? At any point, they could have been like, "Yeah, we're not going. Nobody's going." Everybody gets in a room and say, "Yeah, we're not going." And
but I think because of it was, people were playing for the love of the game back then.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that you could play for. You weren't playing to make a living. Like my brother made, I think, 60 or 80 grand one year, and that was like one of the best years that you could possibly have. He had a sponsor that was paying him like $4,000 an event just to show up, only during events, not like $4,000 a month. There was no salary. It was like, and that was a rare thing. There were only like two of those in the league at the time, and they had one of them. And then office prize winnings. And like, if you're in the top, 0.1% of pros and you make 60 grand, like you make that as a sub right now.
That's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah. It's come a long way. Obviously the audience has helped, the distribution abilities to get and garner actual analytics behind, your consumer or the average viewer. It's a thing. It makes it easier, and it makes those salaries, sort of make sense. Back then, though, to have a sponsorship like that had to have been like insane. I always say it because it's true. Like the second that Hutch told me that I could make money off of uploading videos to YouTube, I said that's the last. I'll do this forever. Is what I said. I'm like I'm never gonna stop creating videos. I'm never gonna stop creating shit to go on the internet. Are you still involved like in the Halo community? Do you still keep up with everybody and everything that's going on, or are you a little bit more on the wings?
I'm a little on the wings now. I still like the UGC are some of my close friends, and they sometimes will host the HCS events. So they'll have me come out and like cast and stuff. So I kind of keep up with it. I'm definitely like, I still am hopeful, and like I'm looking out for Infinite or like whatever the next new Halo title is, just because it's something that, like you with Call of Duty, I'm sure you'll always be involved in some way, even if it's just passively like keeping up with whatever new title it is. It's something that I think is too ingrained in me to ever like leave at this point, just because of the sheer amount of hours and like time of my life that I've committed to
it already.
Thinking
You're pot
about
committed.
It. Yeah.
What do you think Halo needs, man? What for its resurgence?
Man. Just a really, really robust ranking system. I think the most important thing, and you'll probably agree with me on this, is what every other great game has, which is the casual game is the same exact game that the competitive players play. Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Dota, all the big esports, you're playing the same game. We don't have to change the settings. We don't have to mess with anything. You just change, maybe some of the maps, and the game, even the game modes, are pretty much the same. But I think if you nail that, then you are on the road to having a successful esport. Definitely not there yet, but you're on.
I mean, you
on the
guys
right
certainly
path.
have the personalities, though. Like, I mean, even in up and comers, right? Like, think about the and I say up and comers like the formals, right? Like the people that weren't here. Obviously, you'll never get formal back because he's mine. Right? He's Call of Duty's now. But I think I think that Halo as a community has everything it needs to make a comeback if everybody commits to doing the job that they're supposed to be doing and doing the extra work in some cases that you would need to do that. Obviously, you're never going to see the enables, the Flameswords, or maybe you will see the Flameswords, and maybe you will see the Maniacs, and maybe you will see that, but you're not going to see the ninjas coming back, but you won't see, but
He'll play a little.
He'll play a little, dude.
Mixer, Microsoft.
Yeah, the thing about Ninja is that he's always been very good at not changing. You know what I mean? Like you said, he's always had this this big personality. But even when Halo was out there and he was done streaming, like at some points he would point all his audience into Halo because he said, "Well, I'm gonna go watch this now. I'm off," right? And he would do that. So the passion for that is ingrained as it is in you. It's ingrained in him. So I know that like the potential for that to happen is there. You know what I mean? Like I know that teams would want to continue to be a part of that if it made sense. And I don't understand, and this is something that just gets asked about Call of Duty, it gets asked about everything, but what is it about, and this is not a question for you, it's just a question for any developer or anybody that knows way more than me about how this works, but why couldn't you just transfer a ranking system into a following game? All I hear about from Nate Chat, all I hear about from anybody that played Halo back then, that Halo had the best ranking system ever. Period. End of story.
Yeah,
like, I don't understand why that formula, that quantum physics mechanic, whatever.
I think they hate it now. They don't want something like that to be in their games, and I think it's because there's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm blowing smoke up our collective asses, but there's not people like us in there to tell them, like, this is an important thing to include in the game. Like casual people are not going to be affected. Like, I think it's like the participation trophy mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Parched.
Yeah, go ahead.
That everybody needs to win, or everybody needs to,
feel a win.
Yeah. So like if you're a true level 18 out of 50, maybe that doesn't feel so good, but it's accurate, and it will place you with other people so you can get good games, and that ranking system was just so rewarding. It was so difficult to rank up, and every loss you could see, you go to Bungie and you look at your bar and how far you've come, and after every loss you'd have to check because you jump back 3 wins worth. So you had to be consistent, and it was so good, and the colors and everything. There's something just so magical about, just for whatever reason, those little numbers with the colors around them made it, so addicting to rank up and see that little incremental change. I don't know, man. I haven't felt like that with the ranking system for a very long time.
No one has.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever experienced anything. I mean, even in Black Ops 2, where they had league play, like, I don't even think I took advantage of that. So I've never really experienced it. I don't know why. Maybe I was too into the business side of this thing that I didn't get a chance to truly enjoy that. They had the Unscope Ballista, one of my favorite rifles of all time, and I still didn't play it enough, or didn't take time enough to enjoy that part of it. But it's something that's needed, right? And I'm talking about Call of Duty right now, and until they have that, the esport itself is not going to continue to grow. Until they have the ability to tell the casual player, hey, we're not even trying to infect through cross-pollination. We're not even trying to sort of say, hey, play this now. You know what I mean? Like, people are going to play what they play, period. But a lot, I told Vonderhaar this way back in Black Ops 2. And it was, if you're able to bring your bronze, if you're able to bring your gold, your platinum plaque with you into public lobbies, people are going to be curious about it. And those achievement hunters, those people that go for
it drives replayability.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
It gives you maybe end game is the wrong word, but it gives you something to work for.
Yeah.
And it makes you get on every day and play the game. I think that's one of the reasons why Halo 2 was so successful, is it gave people reasons to get on and play the game every day.
Look at Counter-Strike,
get better.
Look at Counter-Strike. It's got a good ranking system that people are proud to say, I am this and that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that Call of Duty doesn't have, right? For a casual player, I don't have the ability to say, I'm fucking gold, or, and people don't have the ability to go check to make sure that you're not fucking lying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's all this opportunity, and it will come. It will come. It's just that, like anything else, people want to take their time because of whatever reasons, right? We don't know. This is a publicly traded company that, Microsoft is Microsoft, right? For Bungie. Like, we don't fucking know the true economics and mathematics that go behind making a decision not to do something. So, I don't know. I can go on for days on all that. Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad that I reached out. I'm glad that I received yesterday, and I'm glad that I received it at the same time that I received the other stuff.
That's truly crazy.
Because it made me say, like, yo, there's a story that needs to be told here. And Hitch was going to be working on a Halo documentary, and then obviously he, blew up, and he's doing his thing with TST, which I'm super happy about for him. But I know that he still wants at one point to do something like that. And I think these conversations will always be like something that people are going to go back to and see how it really was back when. Yeah. Because imagine if you guys would have done a podcast. Imagine you sat down back then and did a podcast with all the top people in here, right? Imagine a podcast with Ninja from way back when, his thoughts. Imagine a podcast with Launchbach and Royce. I always say Launchbach and Royce. Launchbox and Roy. God damn it! I always do that. You know what I mean? Like that's something that needed to be told, man. And it would have been awesome to be able to go back and check and fact check what was happening back then. You know what I mean? And that's why I like vlogging. That's why I like making these podcasts, because at some point or another, 10 years are going to go by as fast as they just did. And we're now sitting here, but in a different place.
I mean, there's actually a lot of interviews and stuff that my dad would conduct, all of them with the players at the LAN.
Yeah.
Just,
where are they?
Man, well, some of them are lost to time or lost on the TLN server.
Yeah.
Because we sold the site, and I don't know, they may be behind a paywall and still on the site, or they may just still be on the site. Some of them got ripped and uploaded to YouTube, or some of them are on the LAN Network YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But you could see, like, there's definitely the video of my dad and my brother imitating DMAC and Gandhi. That's like one of the shining moments from LAN Network history. So that's a good one. If you were going to watch anything, that and the TLN uncut video from Bravo, that really kind of gives you a glimpse into what we were dealing with back then.
That's super dope, man. All right, well, thanks, man. I hope that this isn't the last time that you come on. Maybe one day I'll do a round table around Halo people, and then you guys can come and reminisce again, because I gotta tell you, this is probably one of my favorite podcasts I've ever done, because I learned so much of it in a time that I think personally is one of the most important times that we've ever, it's a pivotal moment in esports history. You know what I mean? Because without what you and your family did for this, to prepare people, to give them
the creation of Twitch,
to give them the creation of Twitch, in a sense, even though I did it, it was dope, man. It was dope. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Anything else?
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. If you want to watch my ice cream videos,
check all this information. You should do that. I was just thinking when you said that I eat at 1 a.m., like, you should do the 12 a.m. cooking show on Twitch. People are trying to fall asleep at that time, and there's nothing better to fall asleep to than the sweet scent of freshly baked bread.
Oh man, the baked bread, the peanut butter s'moreo bars that I made. It's just so many things, man. I made pretzels last night at midnight, or 2 nights ago at midnight.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Where'd you learn how to bake? Like, how do you even?
I just throw myself at it.
Yeah.
And I'm usually pretty good, because I'm pretty sciencey. I make sure that everything's like very, like, all the measurements are correct.
Yeah.
And I think if you do that, it's pretty hard to mess up baking, because it's a science.
It is.
Cooking's more of an art form.
You're a globetrotter too, an adventurer, man. You've gone places by yourself, right?
2 months in Thailand backpacking alone, or 2 months in Southeast Asia backpacking alone. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you first said that you were gonna go do that, and then I blink, and then you're back, and you have like these, like, your GoPro footage of everywhere that you. I respect that. I couldn't do it. I'm gonna be honest. I told my sister-in-law the same thing. She moved out to LA by herself, not knowing anybody, and she did it. She just went and lived to tell a story.
Yeah.
And then she went to Spain and did the same thing and lived to tell the story. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that I have that sort of explorative nature in me that would allow me to go and just be somewhere by myself.
I think that's the whole thing, though, because it forces you out of your comfort zone. It forces you to... I've never made more friends more quickly than when I was out on that trip. You talk to people every single day. You're in your hostel. There's new people coming in and out. You're, going on day trips with different people each day. Hey, what are you doing? Oh, we're doing the same thing today. You mind if I join up?
Yeah.
And then you just go. It's like walking into an Xbox Live lobby and just joining up with people.
I mean, when you said hostel, I'm like, yeah, I want to do it.
Yeah. $7 a night, $8 a night, sleeping in a dorm with a bunch of other sweaty travelers.
Not my thing. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, there's better ways to do it, but if you really want the true experience, you got to get out there and they're safe. Definitely they're very safe. I would highly recommend, if you're ever to do anything in your life, I would recommend that you go solo travel somewhere that is as different as humanly possible from where you are from.
That
so much life
scary.
experience.
That's so scary.
It's like it's more than jumping into the deep end. It's like jumping into just the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. Jesus, dude. I couldn't do it. Like, what do you do? So you book your trip, you book your hostel, you get there day one, then what?
Then you just got to find... I don't like...
But this is my thing. Okay, I'm going somewhere. What am I going to do? Explore. Okay, what am I exploring? The city. Okay, what part of the city? Yeah. What is my end goal here? You know what I mean? Because I could go on Google and Google Maps and see it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, food, I understand. The experience, the smell, like all that, I want to do that. I mean, obviously, I hate the concept of travel. I love traveling, just hate that concept. But to go explore by myself, I don't know if I could, dude. I don't know if I could. Like, who am I going to... It's beyond me. I wish.
Just, you have to submit to the system of solo travel, I guess. You have to just become the flow.
Where do you keep your money?
On you.
Yeah.
Tight. Yeah. Tight on you.
Like, credit cards? Do they take credit cards? Like what?
So in like Thailand and stuff, you're pulling out cash out of the ATM, like $400 at a time. I would take out no more. And then you could either wear like one of those wallets that go under your shirt as like a satchel thing, or you could have like an incognito pocket in your backpack or something. And just,
I would do three things. I would do everything you said.
The sock.
I would do sock. I would do insole, like remove the insole, put some cash in there. I would have just like $100 bills just like tucked away somewhere. And then just in case I ever got to it, I'll always have the one in my ass. You know what I mean? That's the one that I pull out the least. I mean, you better watch that before you do that. I'd be too scared, man. I wish I had the adventurous soul that you do, because even then I was like, man, I wish I could do that. When my sister-in-law did it, I was like, I wish I had the balls to do that.
It's the coolest thing.
I don't think you live until you're able to do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I eased into it too. I started with the 2014 League of Legends World Championship. So I flew into South Korea and watched that in the Olympic Soccer Stadium. That was nuts.
Yeah, by yourself.
Yeah. I actually took a Tinder date.
Okay.
I was like, hey, you want to go watch this video game world championship? And she was like, yeah, I guess. I was like, all right, cool.
So did you pay for her ticket?
I already had 2 tickets.
Okay.
So
wait, you got a Tinder date in Korea?
In Korea.
Okay, so they have Tinder in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was teaching English as a second language there. So she was from like Colorado.
Oh, okay. So
okay. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It made the experience a whole I mean, I wouldn't say I necessarily regret it, but like I felt bad bringing somebody that knew nothing about video games to the League of Legends World Championship.
Yeah.
And being like, I don't even fully, like, nobody can really understand what's going on in a team fight, I think, except maybe the casters. And I'm like, yeah, okay, this is going to be like a really big moment. And then like, fireworks go off and stuff. She's like, what happened? I'm like, oh, somebody won $2 million. I don't know. I don't know.
That's awesome.
And then I, puddle jumped from there to Bangkok and just figured it out, really. Minimal research on what I wanted to do. I mean, the first week I was like,
is it dangerous?
No, so safe. Thailand is like one of the safest places you could ever go. And it's probably my favorite country in the world. Maybe next to, I like the U.S. a lot.
Where did Ace just go?
Thailand. Also.
He just went there, but he went with a group of people.
Yeah, but it's got everything, man. It's got beautiful, like 5-star beaches. It's got mountains. It's got a giant city. It has like rainforests. It has temples. It has everything.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing food. Some of the best food that you'll ever have in your life.
Best Ties right down the street, baby.
Frisco,
Go there
Texas.
once,
Shout out.
go once a week. You know what I mean? Shout out.
I mean,
to Frisco Square Best Tie.
like, dude, just waking up in the morning and you don't know what is going to happen ever, and you walk down the street and there's like an old woman selling fruit, and I would buy like a whole watermelon, a whole pineapple, and a kilo of mangoes, and I would eat that for breakfast, and just
all that.
all of it, just not a care in the world, just out in the sun, just with my travel spoon, just spooning watermelon into my mouth and eating pineapple spears, like. And then a whole kilo of mangoes. And then I went to try to get my PADI certification for scuba diving and puked all of it into the ocean, and then got swarmed by fish. They ate all of it and it was gone instantly. And then I got out and didn't finish my PADI certification because I got too scared.
Yeah. Dude,
Not a scuba diver.
that's amazing. That's a whole nother podcast for that story, dude.
Solo travel is the coolest thing, man.
You gotta, dude. You need a podcast, man. Talk about your vegan cooking and your fucking solo adventures, man. I definitely listen and watch, man. You should. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Eavesdrop podcast, episode number 60. That is insane that we're at number 60, Matt. It was in this very moment, in this very spot, that we wrote down the name on this board. You, me, and my brother. Anyway, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Absolute
so much.
pleasure.
Make sure you grab some of this because I don't know where my hands have been.
Yeah, well, I got the antibodies. I don't know about you.
Oh, I do. I think so. I think I do. I'm gonna go get tested.
I think we're good.
Soon. We'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye. Oh, quick shout out, obviously, to Honey. Make sure that you use Honey if you want to save some money, and make sure that you wear Turtle Beaches if you want to win some games and listen to my videos. We'll see you next time.